When did you decide that you wanted to street dance, and why street dance?
I never really decided I wanted to do street dance. It was just something I kind of got into and became kind of addicted to. I started off breakdancing, just breakdancing, never tried any other style. I was originally one of these sort of dancers that I was like, no, I breakdance, cool, everything else is rubbish. That was when I was like 15. Kind of got into it because a couple of my friends went to Germany to visit family, and their family were breakdancers, their cousins were breakdancers, so they came back and showed me a few moves. And we used to go to an under-18s night, and there was a guy there who could breakdance. So I was like, oh, I want to beat him, because he was like, everyone thought he was really cool, all the girls loved him, all the guys were like, yeah, he's cool. So I was like, I want to be that guy. So I trained, my two friends, Sahit and Sammy they were called, they taught me these moves. So I went in, I beat this guy, and no one cared. So I was quite gutted really. But then as I got to like the age of like 19, 20, that's when I really kind of like started thinking, oh, I can do other things. So I started taking up more styles of street dance, do a little bit of popping and picked up some choreography, and I've kind of been addicted to it ever since.
Were there any dancers in particular that you admire?
When I first started dancing, there wasn't really any dancers I looked up to because I didn't know much about dancing. It wasn't until a couple of years into it I learned of other crews and other dancers from around the UK and kind of admired what they did. Crews like Flawless, that people may know from Britain's Got Talent, I knew of those guys before they were on the show. They were quite a big inspiration to me. There was a crew from America called High Voltage. They were an entertainment crew that did a lot of work in like theme parks like Disneyland and Universal Studios, and like I saw them when I went on holiday, and they were a real big inspiration to me. And to be honest with you, just the guys I kind of danced with, because we were just kind of inspirational to each other, I suppose, and pushed each other. So we kind of like, I look up to like the guys I started with, but now I look up to everybody that comes into my dance studio, from no matter what age they are. They inspire me to keep doing what I do, because to watch them grow is like a massive reward to me. It's a great feeling, so that's what inspires me now.
How long have you been teaching, and what inspired you to share your knowledge?
I started teaching kind of by accident, really. We used to train, we had nowhere to train, so we used to train in the swing park in Neswick Street in Stonehouse, and we kind of bought a bit of lino, and we used to train in this swing park. And some of the little kids used to come out and be like, oh, what are you doing? And we kind of like, tell them, and we started showing them some of the moves. And then they'd come out every day without doubt. Whenever we were there, they would come out and they would learn, and you could see the improvement. And that's kind of what got me into teaching. I was like, oh, look at this, he can do the moves. And then we kind of got noticed by a youth club, and this youth club asked us to go and do a bit of a demonstration in teaching their kids. So we did that. And again, the kind of fact that the kids were improving, they were really enjoying it, kind of like pushed me more into teaching. But I would have probably never started teaching if it weren't for the kids in the park, because like the fact that they came out and they were trying what I was doing when there was nobody else doing it. I was teaching myself. I didn't have a clue really, but they got really good, and I believe one of them's still doing it now. He lives in Gibraltar, and last I heard he won some massive competition over there, and that was about 3 years ago. Now I was teaching him like 7 years ago, so that's the fact that he's still kind of doing it was a great feeling as well. But yeah, the fact that they used to come out into the park and just, whether it was raining or not, we'd be there and they'd come out with us and just do it until they got shouted in by their parents. And that's kind of what inspired me into teaching.
You went to Lipton Community College as a student. Are there any memories you would like to share, good or bad?
I got a lot of memories from Lipton. Mainly good. I loved that school. I thought Lipton was an amazing school. They were very supportive of me when I danced. They used to let me use the dance studio. They pushed me. They helped. Like they kind of gave me that support I needed, really. Especially since we were doing something we shouldn't have been, like not many people were doing, kind of thing. Like I was in a lot of trouble in school, but kind of I think the teachers knew that it's because I didn't have anything to really push me with. So I had some bad memories of things like getting in a lot of trouble, being suspended and being punished, kind of thing. Those were kind of bad memories from the trouble I got into. But when I got into dance, kind of I think my attitude changed in school, and I think the attitude towards me from teachers also changed. But Lipton was wicked. I would give anything to go back to school for 1 year with everyone I went to school with, whether I was friends with them or not, and all the same teachers, whether I liked them or not. If I could get to go back to school for 1 year, now, with all those people, it'd be one of the best things ever, because it was, my school years were amazing. And everyone says, I can't wait to leave school. And people tell you you're going to miss it when you do, and you will, you miss it. I miss school so badly, it was so good. And if I didn't go to Lipson, I'd have never started breakdancing. That's the fact, because I met the people who got me into it at Lipson. You know, and the school helped push, whereas a lot of schools probably wouldn't have done the same thing. So, like, yeah, Lipson's one big, massive good memory for me.
Do you think you use dance as a medium to combat any issues you faced as a young person?
The great thing about dance is you can use it, like, to channel any of your emotions. If you're upset and feeling down, you can use dance to help express that. If you're angry, you can use dance to help express that. Use it to tackle any problems, whether it's anger issues, whether it's kind of like a depressive issue, whatever it is, dance is something you can channel that energy into it. And that's the great thing about it, no matter what it is. And I think dance should be used a lot more in a lot more schools and things like that to help people express themselves. I think it really should, because it does work.
What do you think of the dance scene in Plymouth?
The dance scene in Plymouth now is pretty big. I mean, there's always been a dance scene in Plymouth, not necessarily a street dance scene though. It's always been ballet, modern, tap, contemporary, freestyle disco, all those kind of things. I think we kind of set something off because there wasn't anyone doing it before us. There was probably 1 or 2 dance schools teaching what they class as street dance, but they had no idea what they were teaching. It wasn't street dance at all. They didn't have any idea about the culture, the history, the foundations about it, so they shouldn't have been teaching it. But when we kind of learned and we kind of taught ourselves things, we actually went away and researched things, which I advise any dancers from Plymouth out watching this now. Make sure you research your history and your foundations of what we're doing. It's great now that it's got a lot. Bit too much rivalry sometimes. People don't want to. But sometimes when we jam, we bounce ideas off each other. It's really good, and we can connect. Again, like I said, it's a universal language, so we always end up talking through it and expressing ourselves through the dance, which is amazing. So the dance scene's picked up a lot. And I'm proud. I'm hoping it's going to get a lot bigger.
Do you feel you have lost out on opportunities because of people's attitude, like to street dance?
I don't know. Oh, we have lost out on opportunities. Like not so much now, but in the past. But like because a lot of people didn't take what we did seriously. Like it was a bit of a gimmick to them, I suppose. So when we tried to enter competitions, like there would be dance competitions on. We'd be, we want to enter, and like, oh no, sorry, we don't do street dance. No. Like, well, why not? Like they wouldn't let us do things. I'd say I lost out on more opportunities because we were younger. Like, because I was when I started Beat Breakers, I was 15. So when I was there, when I was talking to these organisers of events, they just looked at me like it's some dumb little kid who was talking a little rubbish, and they didn't take me serious. I was like, oh no, we dance and thing, and they didn't take it serious at all. And I suppose our biggest, I think the first big show we ever did was Plymouth Respect Festival, and we got given that opportunity, and it was in the Guildhall, and we were given this chance, this opportunity. We started in March 2002. We were given this opportunity, and it was in October 2002. So it took us quite a while to get it. You know, it took us almost 6 months. So, but we got the chance to do it, and we impressed a lot of people. You know, so I think from then people took it a bit more serious. Well, these guys are actually really good. And then from there we ended up being on a TV show as well, and we got a lot of opportunities because we were the first people doing it down here. You know, like when we were saying Plymouth, we're from Plymouth, people were like, you're dancers from Plymouth, really? Didn't realise there was anything going on in Plymouth. So like that's why we got a lot of opportunities. 1, because of our location. 2, because of our age. I think. I don't think it was because it was street dance so much. Even though there's still a lot of people that are quite arrogant toward it now.
I think you're a role model to the young people you teach from now.
It's quite a funny one. I get called a role model, yeah. And people tell me I'm a role model, yeah. I've never really considered myself a role model. There'd be times like I do something or I would say something in public, like or write something on Facebook which was an opinion of mine, and I'd get private messages from people saying, you're meant to be a role model to children. do all this kind of stuff and have a go at me for what I said. So it used to annoy me, so I'm like, well, I never asked to be a role model. Like, I don't ask people to do what I do. I don't say, if I speak something, you should do it with me. I say to people, if you want to dance, I can help you. Dancing is great for this reason, and this is why you should do it. So kind of like, in that kind of way, it annoyed me, but I suppose, in a way, I am a kind of role model because I encourage people to do stuff more positive. I try to explain to people that doing negative isn't a good thing. Going out and fighting isn't good. Smoking and drinking isn't good. That kind of thing. Like, I try to push them into a more positive attitude with it. You know what I mean? Why go out and cause trouble when you can come to my dance studio and do some dancing? I used to be one of these people that was in a lot of trouble. People around the area where I grew up hated me, especially the older people. But then they respect me. Now they're all like, oh, you're doing so well, you're doing so well. Teachers in school, the same kind of thing. I suppose when it comes to the kids I work with, the fact that I know I'm changing people's attitudes, parents tell me that their son and daughter, their attitude have changed in school, they're not in as much trouble. So, I don't know if the word role model, I don't kind of look at it that way. I'm more of an encouraging person, I would say. I like to encourage people to do what they want to do in a positive way and not let anybody stop them doing it. So I suppose, like, yes, I am a role model. It's not the word I would choose to use for myself, but yeah, in some ways I guess I am. Never asked to be, it just kind of happened. So.
You have a very varied crew here, different ages and backgrounds. What do you feel is the most important message to get across to them?
As I said in one of the questions earlier, dance, not necessarily just dance, we follow a hip-hop culture in the dance style we do. And hip-hop is one of the most universal languages there is, whether it's through the music, through the dance, through the art, you know, or through the spoken word of poetry, where rap originally stands for rhythm and poetry. You know, like people express. That's how me and Isaac come real close. He used music to express himself. I used dance. Through that, we used hip hop to come together, and we started off something in Plymouth, which is taking off crazy. Isaac was definitely one of the first kind of young rap artists in Plymouth that was doing what he was doing. I was one of the first hip hop dancers in Plymouth that was doing what I'm doing. And together we've kind of pushed things. Now, when Beat Breakers first started, I was the only white British member of Beat Breakers. The other guys were from Poland, from the Czech Republic. We had guys from Yugoslavia, and Isaac was mixed race. So I was the only white British person. And we all come from different backgrounds, different cultures, but we had the same interest in music and dance. And that's the message, I think, there, is no matter who you are, no matter what size you are, what colour you are, like where you're from, where you've been brought up, like we all speak the same language. It's hip-hop, it's music, it's dance, it's art, you know. It's this what we do, and that's what brought us here. So my message is like, that's this. What comes with our culture is one big love. You know, it's a positive movement, like for anybody to join. So the message is we've done it. Like this whole racism crap, it's pathetic. I mean, how people can still be so stupid when you've got kids as young as whatever, coming from different backgrounds and totally in life, who dance together or make music together, because all they see in each other is the fact that they've got love for the same thing. You know, they don't look at anything else. They look at what they've got love for, and that's how we come together. Like me and Cadis are like practically brothers, you know, and we've come from different upbringings, different backgrounds. He's black, I'm white. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? We share the same love. That's what it is. So, regardless of anything, it's all love.
Have you made any sacrifices to be where you are today?
Childhood, I suppose, my teenage childhood. When all my friends were out doing what they were doing, I was dancing. When we got a bit older, when all my friends went on holidays, lads' holidays, I never went because I would have a show or class on at the same time as the holiday, I would pick that. I kind of sacrificed my grades in school. I don't advise anybody else to do the same thing, but I put myself through dance more than I did anything else. I was in school, in my head, I was thinking dance. And it did affect my grades. I got good grades for like what I did. I mean, now, even to this day and age, I still sacrifice things. Like my 2 years ago, my fitness, my health, I ended up in hospital. I'm an asthmatic, and I took on far too much, working 2 to 3 jobs, as well as running this place, and teaching and everything on top of it. I ended up in hospital for a week on oxygen and stuff to help me breathe, nebulizers to help open my lungs because I was doing too much. My dance ability, I look at myself now and I see that my dance ability has gone downhill because I spend more time teaching kids than I do training myself, and I haven't got time to train myself because I'm so tired, because I work nights to help bring money in to pay my bills at home, and then I'm up here almost every day of the week either cleaning or teaching or planning things because we don't really make much money, we can't afford to pay cleaners. So I kind of my life is this studio. So if anything outside of the studio, I kind of sacrifice really. I suppose relationships, you know, like I'm too busy with the studio to find myself a girlfriend or anything like that because I wouldn't have any time to spend with them. But saying all of that, I don't think I could be any happier than I am. I'm doing something I love. I'm inspiring people to do something they love. And what can you ask for more, you know? Like, I'm doing, I suppose, my dream job. I never thought it would be my dream job. It come along, it happened, and you got to make sacrifice to make greatness, you know? Like, you can't have everything. And if you want to make something work, you've got to push it, you know? Especially if it's a business.